Reese was a 13-year-old Dachshund whose greatest joy in life was receiving and giving hugs. She loved nothing more than snuggling up with people, basking in their warmth and affection. Unfortunately, despite her gentle nature and lovable demeanor, Reese's previous owner was overwhelmed with responsibilities. With 4 young children to care for and the demands of a busy household, Reese's owner found it increasingly difficult to meet the needs of an aging pet. As time passed, the decision became clear. Reese deserved a better life, one where she could receive the attention and love she so desperately needed. Reese's owner made the heart-wrenching choice to place her in the yard of a stranger's house, leaving behind a note that explained the situation. The note, carefully attached to Reese's harness, read, "To you, my name is Reese. I'm 13 years old, and I'm not keen on young children. I enjoy my relaxation time. I hope the person finding this will look after my dog. She means the world to me, but my time is extremely limited." The note was a heartfelt plea for Reese's future, an acknowledgement of the dog's deep bond with her owner, but also a recognition that the reality of their situation left no easy solution. The issue wasn't that Reese's previous owner didn't love her. It was simply a matter of overwhelming circumstances. Caring for an older dog while managing a busy household was no easy feat. Reese, in particular, wasn't fond of young children, which made it harder for her owner to find a balance. She preferred quiet time and company from other animals rather than the chaotic energy that often came with young kids. Rather than take Reese to an animal shelter, which could be a stressful and isolating experience for an elderly dog, her owner chose an unconventional path. She left Reese in the yard of a stranger, hoping the new person would understand the situation and offer Reese the care and love she needed. The note explained it all, but the sudden appearance of an unfamiliar dog in their yard was still a shock for the people who found her. Despite the sadness of the situation, Reese was in a better position than many strays, as the note provided crucial context for the bewildered stranger. It wasn't just a dog showing up without explanation. It was a dog with a story, a deep bond with her previous owner, and a clear plea for help. Unfortunately, this was not the end of Reese's journey. Her story didn't end in the home of the person who found her. Though Reese had been left with good intentions, her search for a permanent home was far from over. As the note had indicated, Reese was not just an ordinary pet. She was an older dog with particular needs and preferences. The search for someone who could provide her with the fulfilling life she deserved would continue, but at least she had the love and care of someone who understood her past and her needs. Reese's story is a poignant reminder of the complex emotions and decisions that pet owners face. It highlights the importance of understanding the needs of aging pets and the sacrifices made in the hope of finding them the best possible life. While Reese's journey was not without difficulty, the love and care she received along the way proved that there is always hope for an animal in need, even when circumstances seem insurmountable. The note left with Reese provided additional context, reading, "She needs all the time and affection you can give. I regret having to do this, but with 4 children, my time is stretched too thin." It ended with a heartfelt thank you, her mother. These words painted a clear picture of the difficult decision Reese's owner had made. A decision filled with love but driven by the reality of an overwhelming home life. The person who found Reese, however, didn't simply leave her outside. Instead, they took the senior dog into their home, unsure of what would come next but determined to help her. Despite already having 3 dogs of their own, they wanted to ensure that Reese found a better life. The challenge, however, was finding a permanent home for a senior dog, which wasn't going to be easy. But the kindness shown didn't stop there. In an effort to find Reese the loving home she deserved, the stranger turned to social media, sharing Reese's story in the hopes that someone would step forward. Reese's journey, however, took a bittersweet turn as she found herself in an uncertain situation, left with a note by her previous owner but without a permanent place to call home. Though the stranger who found her wasn't in a position to adopt her, they were determined to find the right solution. They took the first step by reaching out on Facebook, sharing Reese's story with a closed group and hoping for guidance, or even better, a potential adopter to come forward. It didn't take long before an unexpected source of help emerged. A kind-hearted person in the group connected them with a local animal shelter, the Royal Animal Refuge. This connection would prove to be the turning point in Reese's journey, offering hope that the loving senior dog would find a permanent home. The story of Reese, her previous owner's difficult decision, and the kindness of strangers who worked together to ensure her future is a testament to the power of community and compassion. While Reese's journey was not without hardship, it also showcased how a simple act of kindness can lead to new opportunities, even in the most unexpected places. Thanks to the efforts of those who cared for her, Reese's story was far from over. It was just the beginning of a new chapter filled with hope and the promise of a loving home. The Royal Animal Refuge acted swiftly when they were contacted about Reese's situation, reaching out to the person who had found her to gather more details. Maria Wend, the shelter director, shared her thoughts with the dodo on the difficult situation Reese had been placed in. "We were certainly taken aback upon hearing the news," Wend remarked. "But we considered the possibility that the former owner was simply at a loss for what to do or whom to approach." With this in mind, the shelter's main priority was to help Reese find a permanent home, even though the circumstances surrounding her abandonment were deeply unsettling. The shelter was not unfamiliar with such situations, but they recognized the difficulty of the task at hand. Wend continued, "Our local animal control services do not endorse abandonment, and this presents a challenge when rescue options are scarce and no alternatives are available." Despite the challenging situation, Reese's prospects were about to improve in an unexpected and heartwarming way. In the meantime, the Royal Animal Refuge's compassionate approach began to pay off. Thanks to their excellent foster care system, the shelter was able to provide a temporary home for Reese while they worked toward finding a permanent solution. It didn't take long for an experienced foster parent to step up to the plate. Robin Klein, an elderly woman, volunteered to take Reese into her home until the shelter could finalize an adoption plan. Little did anyone know, this would be the beginning of Reese's new life. When Reese arrived at Robin's home, the connection between the senior dog and Robin's mother, Susie Reeves, was instant. As soon as they met, Susie, who had recently lost her own dog, felt a deep bond with Reese. "There was just something about Reese," Susie said, sensing an immediate connection that she couldn't ignore. She was ready for companionship, and Reese seemed like the perfect fit. Maria Wend commented on the serendipity of the situation. Klein's mother was advanced in years, and she had recently experienced the loss of her dog a few months prior. She took on the role of foster caretaker, and the timing couldn't have been more perfect. What was initially meant to be a short-term foster arrangement turned into something much more. Susie's desire for companionship and Reese's need for love and care aligned perfectly. It became clear that Susie and Reese were destined to be together, filling the void that had been left by Susie's recent loss. This was more than just a fostering situation. It was the beginning of a lifelong bond between two souls who had found each other just when they needed it most. As time passed, the bond between Susie and Reese grew stronger. The senior dog, once abandoned and unsure of her future, was now part of a family that embraced her fully. Reese had finally found the love and care she had been missing, and her journey from abandonment to a loving home was nothing short of a miracle. Thanks to the efforts of the Royal Animal Refuge and the kindness of her new family, Reese's story had a happy ending. While her road to finding a home had been rocky, the compassion and generosity of strangers turned her life around. The refuge's foster care system had played a crucial role in giving Reese a second chance, and for that, the Aylmer family, Reese's previous owners, and all the people who helped her along the way can be grateful. Reese's story is a reminder of the importance of rescue organizations, foster care, and the impact that kindness and compassion can have on the life of a pet. It also shows how, even in the darkest of circumstances, there is always hope for a brighter future. Reese's new home with Susie was not just a fresh start for her, it was a new chapter for everyone involved. And it proves that sometimes the most unexpected connections are the most rewarding. During their conversation, Wen shared that Robin had told her how instantly Susie fell in love with Reese. The original plan was for Susie to care for Reese temporarily, but it didn't take long for the family to become attached to the 13-year-old Dachshund mix. After growing close to Reese, they decided to make her part of the family for good. Why not keep Reese and welcome her into our home permanently? They thought, and soon the adoption was made official. Reese's journey had been anything but simple. Initially, she had been left in a stranger's yard by her previous owner, who had hoped that the stranger would take her in and integrate her into their home as their own. When this didn't work out, Reese ended up in the local animal shelter, a confusing and unsettling experience for the elderly dog. Thankfully, Susie came into the picture, and Reese's life began to improve dramatically. From the moment they met, it was clear that Susie and Reese were meant to be together. Wen spoke to the dodo, explaining how the adoption was a joyful outcome for both Susie and Reese. She's thrilled to have offered him a home. She informed me that he would receive love, and it's a joyful conclusion for Reese. Wen remarked, expressing the joy that came from finding Reese a permanent and loving home. Indeed, it was a joyful conclusion for Reese. After a long and uncertain road from being abandoned in a stranger's yard to finding comfort and care with Susie, Reese finally had the home she deserved. Susie, who had recently lost her own dog, was equally thrilled to have Reese join her household. The two had clearly found the companionship they both needed, and it was heartwarming to see how their bond grew. Reese would now spend her remaining years in a loving home, and the Royal Animal Refuge was overjoyed to see the happy ending unfold. Reese's story wasn't the only one with a positive conclusion at the Royal Animal Refuge. Another dog, Elsa, had her own unique tale that ended just as well. Elsa was found wandering the streets, and the person who discovered her was initially unsure of what they had found. The large, hairless dog didn't resemble any typical breed. Her size and nearly bald body led them to think she might be a bear-dog mix. Despite her unusual appearance, Elsa was gentle and affectionate. The person who found her recalled, "She's extremely gentle, and she keeps bumping into you as if to say thank you. I believe she understood we were trying to assist her." Elsa's story, just like Reese's, is a testament to the power of compassion and second chances. With the help of the Royal Animal Refuge, both dogs found their forever homes where they were given love, care, and a chance to thrive. Thankfully, Elsa willingly hopped into the rescuer's vehicle, and they immediately took her to the vet for a thorough checkup. It was clear that Elsa had been battling a mite infestation, which had left her almost completely hairless. Initially, finding a home for Elsa proved difficult, mainly due to her size. But after several months, as her fur began to grow back, interest in adopting her started to grow. Around 6 months later, someone offered Elsa a temporary home for the holiday season, planning to keep her for a few days. But during that short stay, something unexpected happened. The woman caring for Elsa quickly grew attached to her and found herself dreading the thought of letting her go. When the Royal Animal Refuge arranged a visit with a potential adoptive family, the woman became overwhelmed with emotion and couldn't bear the idea of Elsa leaving her. As fate would have it, the visiting family eventually mentioned that they were unable to adopt Elsa, which was a huge relief to the foster family. They had already made up their minds. Elsa was staying with them. Elsa, known for her warm and friendly nature, had charmed everyone she met. Whether with other dogs or people, she had a gentle, affectionate presence that made it impossible for her foster family to part with her. The Royal Animal Refuge played a key role in helping Elsa find her forever home, alongside many other dogs, through the love and dedication of their foster families. In the end, Both Elsa and Reese found families who saw beyond their challenges and embraced them for the loving, loyal companions they were. Their journeys were a testament to the power of second chances and the kindness of foster families, whose care and commitment gave these dogs a fresh start and a place to call home.